Hi there, my name is Brock Kilgore. I brought you to one of my favorite places today. This is Palmer Park in Colorado Springs. Brought one of my favorite maps today, the Pikes Peak Atlas. And I want to talk to you about a class I'm teaching in the fall at CSU Pueblo called Geography 491, Geovisualization and GIS for Social Sciences and the Humanities. So I want to talk about the class a little bit, talk about myself, and make a couple of points. So the first point I want to make, and the reason I brought you up here to Palmer Park, is that in geography or cartography, we make maps of real places. So Palmer Park is a real place. It has this wonderful Dawson Arcos, this conglomerate that has these mud bubbles underneath us. It's really hard. Has these ponderosa pines, the wind around us. And no matter how good of a map we can make, and especially with the geographic information systems on the computer now, we have really powerful mapping techniques. We can't capture all of this. I can't get the smell of a ponderosa pine. We don't have scratch and sniff maps. So mapping is inaccurate, but mapping is still really powerful, and mapping technology has really come along, so much so that it has opened up a whole bunch more creativity, and that's why we don't call it cartography anymore. Well, we still do, but we've added this geovisualization aspect, which means that the reality behind me is so complex that we can represent it in a variety of different ways, from very quantitatively to very qualitatively in art. And reminds me of my favorite quote by a cartographer, a man who made maps, famous J.B. Harley. He said, representation is never cosmetic. And what that means is that the nature behind me can never be perfectly represented in a map like this. There are limitations, but that's okay. These limitations also mean that we can make some really cool maps. So I also brought along one of my favorite maps, and the Pikes Peak Atlas was written by a couple of guys, Robert Orms and Robert Hudak. And I got my degrees. I have degrees in geography and history from University of Colorado in Colorado Springs, just down the bluff from where we are right now. And when I was in graduate school, I worked at the reference desk, and one day I was working there, and a gentleman walked up and asked me if I could help him find some sources for a map, and I said sure. Turns out the guy who made this map, this is my third copy, he gave me this copy, signed it, and I'll talk about that in a second. This map allowed me to learn what I know about this place, and without this map I couldn't have learned about this wonderful real place. So this mapping nature interaction is ongoing all the time, and that's why we still need it. We need new people to make new maps of places so we can add the stuff that we missed. And interestingly, he gave me this map after I helped him, and he wrote, "Thanks for the help, Brock. Nature is not done writing yet. Yours, Robert Hudak." And that's what I'm talking about with this mapping. It's a process. So we've got older people, older generation, they don't have to be older, cartographers who make maps. Younger people like me use them, and then we learn things and we make new maps. I'm trying to pass this along, and I want students from social sciences, the humanities, the arts, anyone, especially non-technically minded people, who I can show how to make maps of just about anything for their discipline. And that's where I come in. I have a very wide range, from very qualitative to very quantitative, and so I can take students and point them in the right direction with their map making. So please take the time to advise your students to take my 491 geography class, because I could take anyone and show them how to make a map of any place, especially one as beautiful as this. Thank you for your time.